Suffer from tinnitus. What is tinnitus?
It feels as if your head is going to explode.
I do this.
Don't ask me how it is. It's always bad.
Despite the apparent cause for concern, the fact that tinnitus affects 14% of the adult population globally does not give the impression of a serious illness with worrying statistics. As a matter of fact, there is a growing global awareness of the risks of chronic exposure to loud and damaging noises, which is contributing to the steady increase in cases of this disputed ear disease.
Took the oath.
Our entertainment industry, the music industry in particular, has a great deal of accountability for this.
Tinnitus affects about 50 million people in the United States. Most cases resolve on their own, but for some, it can be a lifelong issue.
According to research carried out by the British Tinnitus Association, 1 in 8 of the population suffers from this condition. The BTA predicts that the number of people suffering from tinnitus will rise by more than 500,000 over the next decade.
Somewhere along the line, their mantra became "louder is better" instead of "louder hurts." Take a decibel meter to any rock concert and you will find sound levels of 120 dB or higher, as well as in many clubs. The sound in movie theatres is typically set to 100 decibels or higher.
One man used to use a jackhammer, and many young men that use jackhammers don't feel they need to wear earmuffs. They do, because that very loud noise, it damages the fine mechanisms in the ear. So here's this man now in his late 50s, and he has this buzzing or ringing in his ears.
A person can recover from an hour or two of exposure to noise levels in the 90 dB range if they are young and healthy. But the longer the noise exposure lasts, and the older you get, the less likely you are to make a full recovery. Other gadgets, such as earbuds and headphones, only contribute to the increasing prevalence of this concerning ear degenerative disease.
Because he's so used to the train. He's so used to the train, he can't even hear it anymore. But what he discovered that when he stopped the allergens.
But today, on our channel, we're going to examine Dr. Barbara O'Neill's potent natural method to, well, at least somewhat cure and manage tinnitus. Note that we didn't say completely cure. According to a number of medical sources, including Dr. O'Neill, tinnitus is regrettably irreversible. So in order to prevent future complications like complete or partial deafness, it's best to immediately stop engaging in activities that exacerbate it. This includes paying close attention to Dr. Barbara O'Neill's list of foods to avoid if you already have tinnitus or are developing it, as well as one of nature's most amazing herbs that helps finish the healing hack. Who knows, you might live the rest of your life without ever remembering that your ears ever tingled.
And tinnitus is gone.
So, what exactly is tinnitus?
Tinnitus is a ringing in the ears.
Yes, we heard her right, but let us get a more detailed definition of it. Tinnitus is the perception of noise or ringing in one's ears in the absence of external sound. It is a common condition that affects people of all ages and can cause a variety of sounds, such as ringing, buzzing, hissing, or clicking. You might as well think you're hallucinating when you hear sounds like this all the time.
When people come to me wanting help with tinnitus or ringing in the ears, one man used to use a jackhammer.
Anyway, Dr. Barbara gave him some advice about his tinnitus. She always seems to have a natural solution for everything, and it was all about avoiding specific allergens.
So the allergens are the hybridized wheat. These are the allergen foods. The hybridized wheat, oats. For some people, oats are okay. For some people, they're not. But initially, if you're trying to conquer a problem, stop the oats as well. Dairy, and I'm going to explain why these are contributing factors with tinnitus. Peanuts, and also refined sugar.
Did you find any of your favourite stuff there? Let's go over it again. Hybridized wheat, oats, dairy and refined sugar are all foods that should be avoided or severely limited in order to alleviate the symptoms of tinnitus. But you might be wondering why on earth something we eat has an effect on our ears. especially condiments as harmless as these when compared to their overall nutritional value.
So why do they play a role? Well, they are the most common allergens. And the probably first response when someone has an allergy to these foods is excess mucus in the eustachian tubes.
It's pretty relatable. Foods with high allergen levels, as she mentioned, can cause mucus to form in the eustachian tube. This can then affect the ears because the tube acts as a conduit for various structures, including the ears, nose, and sometimes even the mouth and eyes indirectly. In case you didn't know, allergic reactions can cause inflammation and increased mucus production in the nasal passages and throat, affecting the eustachian tube. This can cause symptoms such as ear fullness, ear pain, or difficulty hearing, all of which worsen the tinnitus.
So what this man found is that when he ceased eating these foods, and he used to be a big dairy eater, he used to be a big peanut eater, and he used to consume a fair bit of sugar when he used to have several schooners of beer every night. So you could put in here alcohol as well. When he stopped these foods, he found that his eustachian tubes became a lot clearer and his tinnitus was not as bad.
So basically, take note of these foods because they are critical to limit or altogether avoid in order to maximise Dr. Barbara's strategy for relieving any type of tinnitus. From what we've seen and heard from her, these allergens are a significant contributing factor to the worsening of tinnitus caused by sinus congestion.
He said, I cannot hear it, and then if someone talks about it, then I can hear it. I guess it's very much like when someone lives near a train line. My son lived near a train line at one point, and I went and stayed with him. I woke up with every train. So every couple of hours I woke up, what's that noise? Now Peter slept like a log because he's so used to the train. He's so used to the train, he can't even hear it anymore. Unfortunately, maybe that can be also likened to a man that lives with a nagging wife. After a while, he didn't even hear it.
As Dr. Barbara noted in her humorous remarks, it is also true that a reminder of your tinnitus condition may bring it back to your attention. As a result, we may need to tell our friends not to remind us if we have those hearing problems, but by the end of the video, maybe even a reminder won't bring it back to our attention.
So we can have a visitor and they go, those cicadas are deafening. And I'll think, cicadas? Oh yeah. And now I hear them. She said yes, she decided to stop doing that HIIT training class. She got the DVD, because with the DVD, even if they've got the loud music on, then you can turn it to mute. And you can have your nice classical music in the background. Maybe if you want something a bit faster, you'll choose the William Tell Overture and do the training there.
It's also critical to limit exposure to loud noises and, if necessary, opt for gentler music. Doing so reduces the likelihood of developing tinnitus and also helps manage it for those who already have it.
One of the causes, a sinus congestion, is also one of the causes of tinnitus because it's in those tubes. But the problem is no one tells them how to prevent it. So they pull the green slime out and basically suggest maybe antibiotics, but why is it there? And why is the yeast, fungus, bacteria so active there?
Reverting to the causes of sinus issues, such as sinus congestion, a significant risk factor for tinnitus, Dr. Barbara did not overlook the irritants that can enter our bodies through our noses during breathing. These are primarily chemicals, along with things like molds that grow into the yeast found in the mucus that our noses expel when they are highly congested.
Chemicals, breathing in chemicals, and it can also be reaction to breathing in mold. She said, I hardly had to outlay anything. She said all I had to do was get sodium bicarbonate and vinegar and have some nice smelling essential oils and just have some really good cloths.
So it's essentially ensuring that the environment is clean at all times, with purified air, in order to ensure adequate isolation from pathogens that could cause sinus congestion. As Dr. O'Neill advised, wearing a mask would also be very beneficial in reducing the allergens that trigger sinus congestion. mainly when gardening or doing household chores.
So eliminate the exposure to chemicals, eliminate exposure to mold. And there's something you can do to clear those sinuses out, and that is golden seal snuff.
Since we are all humans and cannot really be kept in places that suit us all the time, we will inevitably come into contact with these pathogens. For those who deal with tinnitus, this means they need a natural herb, not those synthetic meds, to flush their sinuses, which Barbara dubbed the golden seal snuff.
You can buy golden seal as a powder. When you buy golden seal as a powder, you just put a tiny little mound on the base of your thumb, and you go over to the mirror, you close one nostril and little light sniffs, and then sniff the other and get the golden seal up into the sinus areas.
The plant contains berberine, a compound thought to have anti-inflammatory, antibacterial and immune-boosting properties. The anti-inflammatory properties of golden seal can help reduce swelling in the nasal passages, making breathing easier, while the antibacterial component helps fight off bacterial infections in the sinuses, potentially reducing congestion caused by such infections. It also helps to reduce mucus production, which relieves sinus pressure and congestion. As the veteran doctor advises, just a little sniff will do, especially since this is an expensive herb. Just those little sniffs, about 2-3 times a day.
Meantime, 2 or 3 times a day, sniff the golden seal, and it will clean out that whole area.
It's important to remember to maintain a healthy body and immune system by engaging in regular, healthful activities like exercise, getting enough sleep, eating a balanced diet, and so on.
When someone has tinnitus and they stop these foods, they can testify that the problem isn't resolved, but it can sometimes be 50% improved.
And as she stated, it will at least significantly reduce its effect. However, tinnitus is irreversible, so there is no exact cure, but it can be managed.
It can take at least 2 months before you see a full result after stopping these foods.
What do you think about Dr. Barbara's advice? Let me know in the comments below.
And I have found many people to have been able to get their tinnitus very much under control. Everyone I know is managing something, and if you can manage it, you're doing well.